I don't know what you're talking about. I'm a member of the Imperial Senate on a diplomatic mission to Alderaan.
Hey everybody, Darth Bippin here. I know what you're thinking. This isn't Dead by Daylight, and you'd be right. Somewhat. When you think about it, these two games aren't that different at all. Just as Vecna, an undead lich with almost godlike powers, can be stopped by a well-placed plank of wood, Darth Vader, one of the most powerful Sith lords in existence, can be taken out by a fucking soccer ball. On top of that, this is somewhat relevant because recently Darth Vader was in the talks of potential killers Dead by Daylight was looking into for a Star Wars chapter. So I'm killing two birds with one stone here. Anyways, I'm here to talk to you today about one of Battlefront 2's scariest menaces, Big Darth. In a similar style to my Dead by Daylight character 101s, I will be covering the power, or in this case, abilities, as well as perks, star cards, lore, and potentially history in terms of updates and whatnot. So let's just jump right into it. Darth Vader, more like Darth Crater, since I'm stomping people so hard it's leaving an indent. Darth Vader is a character that shouldn't need an introduction whatsoever, unless you've been camping out on a planet filled with rocks, since you've probably been living under one. Darth Vader was once Anakin Skywalker. Spoiler, by the way, an impatient, rebellious teenager who was actually in his 20s, I believe. But since Anakin is a character you can also play as in this game, I won't cover too much about him until I eventually make a video on him. Darth Vader is the product of giving said impatient, rebellious teenager in his 20s the pure raw strength of the Chosen One, a hot girlfriend, and uncontrollable anger issues. Darth Vader serves by the side of Emperor Palpatine, and is Disney's booty call for basically any series or movie that needs a bit more Star Wars in it, you know? Like if things are getting slow, call up my boy Vader, because literally no Star Wars fan out there can possibly dislike him, and if you do, please evaluate your choices. Long story short, he's one of the most powerful and evil Sith in the galaxy, cuts off his own son's hand, fights him some more until his son sways him to do good in the final moments of his life, killing the Emperor, and then eventually dying, because he's been allergic to doing a good deed for his whole existence. With all that out of the way, let's delve into what Vader can actually do in the context of Battlefront 2. Not like his abilities yet, just kind of passive stuff that he has. Vader is a tank. Like a serious tank in this game. He has a default health of 800 and moves pretty slow with an overall slower sprint speed. Makes sense because he's essentially the Michael Myers of Star Wars. He doesn't need to be fast to be menacing. He can dodge like any other unit, can deflect/block attacks with his lightsaber, has fairly high stamina, and has a passive ability of health on kills like any other hero. He swings his saber pretty quick, and his saber does 130 damage, unable to one-shot most regular units unless hitting them from behind, which does 160 damage. Darth Vader, more like Darth Cater, because I'm bringing these motherfuckers to the table and serving them. Like other Force users, he can Force Leap, giving him a higher jump. However, this dude must have enchanted those boots with feather falling IV, because he chooses to float down slowly when dropping from any height. Balanced landing. Seriously, this does kinda suck though, since you can't do anything in the air but fall, so if you have a long way to go, just make sure that you're not around loads of people, because if so, you are being lit up like a fucking Christmas tree, and there's nothing you can do about it. Alright, enough of that passive stuff. Let's hop over to Vader's actual abilities. Vader's first ability is Lightsaber Throw. If you're coming here from Dead by Daylight, you're gonna notice that most of these ability names are pretty straightforward, and not something like Quantum Instantiation or some bullshit. This one is exactly what it sounds like. Darth Vader tosses his lightsaber in front of him, dealing 130 damage. Then, once reaching its peak range of 20 meters, it returns, hitting enemies a second time on the way back for another 130 damage. This then goes on cooldown for 8 seconds. This ability is pretty good for somebody as slow and somebody as tanky as Vades, since he needs options to close the distance so he doesn't get melted before he can reach an enemy. Don't worry, we're close like that. He told me I could call him that. The aiming is quite tough with this one because the lightsaber doesn't really lock onto enemies or anything. Also, it does have travel time even if it is only like a second long. So I find aiming slightly ahead of the enemy to work a little better. In order to not have your lightsaber hit an object and come back prematurely, I find doing your Force Leap and throwing it in the air to be effective as well. But that sacrifices the ability to get the return damage, as you won't really hit an enemy twice if the lightsaber throw reaches its peak distance at the person. You know, you want to give it a little room to go past them and then come back. This makes hitting a person twice a lot harder than normal because they need to be closer than 20 meters, and you most likely need to be on the same elevation as them without objects getting in the way. But it's definitely possible and does happen. On top of this, lightsaber throw is great for damaging blocking lightsaber heroes, as they can deflect the initial throw but will be hit on the return. Darth Vader, More like Darth Later, because I can't be f***ed enough to deal with you right now, you son of a bitch. Vader's next ability is Focused Rage. Okay, yes, I contradicted myself with the thing I said prior about naming conventions. This doesn't really tell you shit. All you need to know is that this is your big boy angry mode ability. Like from my other videos, you know, like from my activating this ability causes Vader to hit a brief "why I oughta" while granting him some bonuses for the next 10 seconds. These bonuses include an extra 200 bonus health, making him even tankier than he was before, an extra 15 damage to his lightsaber strikes, which for the record still doesn't one-shot average trooper classes, and decreases his stamina drain on swings by 50%. This then goes on cooldown for 15 seconds. This shit kicks ass, I'm not gonna lie. This is the ability equivalent of hyping yourself up in the mirror after a shower, since you'll find yourself activating it right before throwing yourself into the heart of the danger. I bet this is the ability Vader activated right before the hallway scene in Rogue One. Not many tips to give here because it's exactly how it sounds. Use it and then go ham. Darth Vader. More like Darth Mater, because I want you. Vader's final ability is his iconic Force Choke. Activating Force Choke causes enemies in a short cone-like radius in front of Vader to be choked and lifted into the air for 1.5 seconds, dealing 86 damage per second up to 130 damage if choked for the full duration. This ability has a cooldown of a whopping 25 seconds. The ability also gives Vader 20% damage reduction while choking, and he can slightly move enemies left or right while they are in the air. This is great for hero modes, or very situational in trooper modes, as if you force choke a high health hero near a ledge, you can attempt to shimmy them over and drop them in a pit, killing them forever and ever and ever and ever. Not only can he do that, but he is also given the ability to walk very slowly, block and swing with his saber, and even use his lightsaber throw with his offhand while choking. This is great for not being shredded instantly while you sit there with your clenched fist, as well as you can finish troopers off that are left with a smidge of health with your lightsaber throw. As for tips, I would suggest trying to startle or surprise people with this ability, as they most often than not can dodge it by blocking or rolling out of the way just in time, leaving you with 25 seconds of no force choking, which equates to a sad Vader. That and not acting too prematurely with the Force Choke can give you the chance to land the ability right after they have exhausted a dodge or swung a saber at you. Darth Vader, more like Darth Hater, because I hate you! And those have been Darth Vader's abilities. Pretty good set, to be honest. Very beautiful. Very powerful. Let's move over to Vader's star cards. I won't be covering all of them, but the ones that I use and some good alternatives. The first star card I always keep on Vader is Furious Resilience. This card grants Darth Vader an added effect to his Focused Rage ability, being a bonus 25% damage reduction while using it. This basically makes an already incredible ability even more incredible, making you even tankier and scarier than before. The next star card I always take is Bonus Health, giving Vader an extra 150 HP and coming up to a total of 950 base health. Holy sh**. As you can see, I just enjoy making Vader as hard to kill as possible. The last star card I do like to switch between a few times depending on different modes. In trooper modes like Galactic Assault or Supremacy, I enjoy taking There Is No Escape, increasing the lightsaber throw distance to 30 meters. This is fun as it just turns Vader into a sniping machine. If in hero modes, I like taking Punishing Grip, increasing the Force Choke duration to 2.1 seconds. The added 0.6 seconds to the Force Choke gives more time for the damage per second, gives other teammates more time to damage the choked heroes while they are vulnerable, and also gives you more time to drop them into a pit if needed. How wonderful. Darth Vader, more like Darth Bader, because actually, I don't think I can say that next part on YouTube. And there you go. Vader has some pretty good star cards that can take him from a killing machine to a slaughtering machine. He also has some... Oh snap. You know what time it is? It's lore time, baby! If you're just finding this video from the Star Wars Battlefront 2 community and not my Dead by Daylight videos, be warned that this is the segment where I literally talk about anything but the lore. Lore fact number 1. Did you know that Darth Bippin is actually canonical? Yep, that's right, I am actually the body model for Darth Vader in this game. You can't really see it, but under all that armor is actually a full HD render of me. It's true, look, it even says it on the website. Lore fact number 2. Darth Vader has some very interesting and cool details about him, which I will be splitting into individual factoids. Darth Vader and Anakin both share the same walking and jumping animation, as they are literally the same person. On top of this, they kind of block similarly with just one hand because they're very, very confident, and I aspire to have that confidence one day. I truly do. Maybe one day. Lore fact number 3. Darth Vader's breathing changes as a fun little detail depending on his current state in the game. If he's just idle and chilling, his breathing sounds like it does in the films. But if he has been running for a while, his breathing will become faster and shorter. On top of this, if Vader is in critical condition and low on health, you can hear his damaged breathing sound like from the movie. Lore fact number 4. In Battlefront 1, Darth Vader did not have his focused rage ability, instead having a heavy strike attack that lunged him forward for a higher damage lightsaber sweep. Lore fact number 5. Building on the last lore fact, he shared the same heavy strike with Luke Skywalker, and if the two used it at the same time, they would initiate a lightsaber clash. This locked them into a cinematic camera while they fought in a button spamming battle to see who won, building on the cinematic nature with unique voice lines. I've gotta say, for as inconvenient as it was gameplay-wise, I wish they had done something like this in Battlefront 2. Imagine unique lightsaber clashes between heroes and villains, all with unique voice lines towards each other. Kinda like how they do in Mortal Kombat. Lore fact number 6. While there are tons of unique voice lines towards different heroes and villains in the game, the most unique to me are the lines between Anakin and Darth Vader, as Anakin is literally seeing his future self and freaking out.
This is some Sith trick. It has to be. No, 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 no!
Lore fact number 7. Vader wasn't always able to swing, block, and lightsaber throw while force choking. This was actually a buff given to him back in 2020. God, I just got flashbacks hearing that year. As before that, he could easily get melted like butter while using his force choke. Lore fact number 8. Darth Vader has no alternate skins or appearances. God damn it, I still think they should have went the route that they did with Grievous and at least given him like a battle damage skin or something, where you can see Anakin's face kind of behind the mask. Lore fact number 9. Darth Vader in Battlefront 2 is voiced by Matt Sloan, who also voiced Vader in the first game. Pretty neat. Lore fact number 10. All of Darth Vader's emotes are references to lines said in the original trilogy.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Lore fact 11. Darth Vader used to have an old intro animation where he would just kind of saunter up and activate his lightsaber, but was instead changed to the current one where he clenches his fist before igniting his saber. Lore fact number 12. Darth Vader, more like no! And that's going to conclude today's 101. As per the typical 101 fashion, I'm going to be rating this character out of 10. Drumroll please. I am going to give Vader a solid 9 out of 10. He is a powerhouse, and I love playing as him. I don't know if you guys do this, but sometimes I even just walk instead of sprinting to be more movie accurate. God, I am such a nerd. I love his voice, his look, and just how menacing he remains in this game. The only reason I really gave him a 9 instead of a 10 was for the lack of skins, and the fact that there are some other heroes and villains that I do enjoy playing more than him. So sorry, Vades. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed today's 101, and the stray away from my usual DBD content. If you don't have Battlefront 2 and are expressing any desire to try it out or play it, buy it. It is literally $5 on Steam currently until July 10th, as it's on sale, and it is well worth that money. This is the Celebration Edition too, so you will literally be getting every skin that you would have had to purchase with the in-game currency. You know, since there's no more microtransactions in the game. The game has recently seen a resurgence in players, and it is fantastic to see, especially since this game holds such a near and dear place in my heart. So that's all for today. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.